Okay, so you're just gonna hit publish, and then you should be good. Did it work? Great. Okay, Kathy, is there anything else I can help you with today? All right, wonderful. You have a great day too. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bang. That can't be good.
Hello, is this Miss Smithensky?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Miss. This is your bank calling. We believe your credit card information has been compromised. Did you try to purchase 2 llamas from Bolivia?
Did I? No, I didn't. Oh my God. How did this happen? How could this have been prevented?
You need to get an SSL.
Where do I get an SSL?
You get one here.
Live from One SEO, it's Taking Control.
Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 47 of Taking Control. Taking Control is of course our weekly web series here at One SEO, powered by One SEO, where we touch on all things IT and digital marketing. I'm Anthony Kane, one of the co-hosts of Taking Control. I'm a lead SEO strategist here at One SEO, and I am joined by Sarah Day, who is one of our lead graphic designers here at One SEO. And Sarah is going to be filling in for Lance Bachman this week on episode 47, similar to how Melissa Daly last week filled in for Lance. So we have a really exciting episode this week. The core topic that we're going to be touching on this week is going to be on SSL. So before anyone freaks out about what SSL actually is, think of HTTPS in front of your website URL. Sometimes websites will have HTTP, sometimes they'll have HTTPS. The SSL certificate that you can get is what separates HTTP from HTTPS. But we'll get into all that and more on this week's episode. But before we do, Sarah, we always plug that we are hiring here at One SEO for both the digital and the IT side.
Always hiring. We're literally always hiring.
Yes.
So if you think that you could do something here, just fill out an application, and if we think you're a good fit for culture and for our team, we'll definitely give you a call, and you can come in, shadow us, see if you even like us, and if you do, who knows?
Yeah, Sarah mentioned that we're always hiring, and it's true, and pretty much all positions. So you can go to oneseo.com/careers to kind of get a better understanding of the various positions. But I know as from the SEO team, we're always looking for new SEO strategists. I know from the creative side, looking for video and graphic design, PPC, email marketing.
We're really looking right now for PPC and web developers.
Definitely.
So
yes.
If you got some skills in that area, definitely give us a call, because we're definitely hiring for those positions right now.
And then of course on the IT side as well, that side of the business is really ramping up, and we're always looking for IT support technicians. So if that's something that you're passionate about, feel free to check out our careers for all the IT side as well. Definitely a lot of great opportunities over there. And then like Sarah mentioned, the culture, we get lunch here on Mondays and Fridays. We have a basketball court. People go out for happy hour. Softball team that Sarah and I are both on.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're not that good, but we try really hard.
So if you're good at softball, oneseo.com/careers. But yeah, we have a great episode this week, 47, 5 away from the big 1 year mark. Like I mentioned, we're talking SSL, and before we kind of break down, Sarah and I give our thoughts on SSL and where the future of that really goes, we're actually going to pass it over to this week's whiteboard segment.
Hey guys, it's Jackie. I'm here to explain to you what is an SSL. Now what SSL stands for is Secure Socket Layer. And what that is Google and all the other search engines want to protect the users on your website. We don't want anybody's information getting stolen, especially if you're an e-commerce client, because they have their home information, credit card information, all of that good stuff. You don't want them in jeopardy. So there are 4 different types of SSLs that you can have on your website, and I'm going to break them all down for you. The first one is a wildcard. Now that is for your singular domain. Now what that means is if I have a website, www.kittycatclub.com, I can put it on an SSL on that domain. If that same website has a shopping platform called shop.kittycatclub.com, I could also use that SSL for that same domain. Next, extended validation. That's for your big e-commerce clients. That's for the Urban Outfitters of the world, the Macy's, the Bloomingdale's, the Nordstrom. We want to make sure that those companies are protecting their customers and making sure that they are not jeopardized. Next, you have the SAN SSL certification. Now that is for multiple websites. So if I have kittycatclub.com, but I also have kittycatclubparty.com, I want to make sure both have an SSL, and that's how you can do that with the SAN SSL. Finally, your organization certificate. That's for your business, your nonprofit, or your education. You always want to make sure anybody visiting your website is protected. Now also, Google is taking this into consideration when you're performing within the search results. If you don't have an SSL, you will not be preferred. Also, now if you visit a website that doesn't have an SSL, it's going to say not secure. So that user experience isn't going to be good because people are going to think that they're not secure, they're not safe, their information's not safe. So your best bet is to get that SSL. That's all I got for you. Thanks, guys.
Welcome back to Technologically Speaking. If you didn't know, One SEO Technologies has a structured cabling division that provides network cabling and network wiring for your office, both large and small. One of the most common questions we get in that division is, what kind of cable do I use? Whether you're running wires for your phone, your computers, or your TV, you always have a type of cable you gotta pick first. Your options are Cat5e, Cat6, and Cat6a. We're going to quickly go through the differences between those three types of cables. Cat5e is probably the most affordable cable, but not by much. Cat5e will get you speeds of up to 100 megabytes for your hardwired connections in your office. Cat6 will get you speed of 1000 megabytes, also known as gigabit speeds, for whenever you're hardwired in your office. This doesn't apply to Wi-Fi. If it's Wi-Fi, there's no physical cable going to your computer. And finally, 6E, or also 6A, same difference in most cases, will get you speeds of up to 10,000, which is 10 gig for inside of your office. Price-wise, Cat5 and Cat6 are very similar in price now. You're not really saving a whole lot of money by going to Cat5, so you might as well pay that little bit extra to make sure you future-proof your environment. Cat6e and 6a, on the other hand, are a lot more money. It may cost double or triple the cost of running a Cat6 wire. It's not, although yes, you would be technically moving forward with some technology that's way out for the future, it's not worth it. I don't think that 10 gigabit speeds are going to be going around office environments in the near future. I hope that kind of summarizes the difference between 5E, 6, and 6A/E. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We'll catch you next week.
Guys, what's up? BJ here, and this laughing mess is Rachel, and we're gonna talk to you about today's digital buzz.
Woo!
Number one on the list, Chili's. I want my baby back. These guys are great for barbecue sauce and ribs, but unfortunately they had a major data breach, okay? We can't be having that in today's world, especially with all the pirates and trolls online who are gonna take that information and do damage with it.
That also just shows you that anybody can be breached. Anyone, any business, small to large, however it may be. This is becoming really popular in bigger brands. I know it happened at Target a few years ago, and that was a hot mess in itself. So,
yeah, these big name brands become targets because these people online have something to prove. And if they get caught, they get caught. But technology is spinning and ever evolving that these guys get away with it. But it's not about the recourse, it's about what you do to prepare yourself for something like this. Do you have your security in place? Do you have regular backups from your IT company? Something to definitely check out, but you want to remain safe here in 2018.
Yep, and if Chili's and their baby back ribs can get caught or can be breached, so can you. So make sure everything's up to date.
On to our second topic, uberAIR taxis. Pretty monumental idea from Uber. What does it entail?
First of all, it's first of its kind. So these ride-sharing apps like Uber, Lyft, Uber is taking that risk that Lance Bachman loves to talk about, and they're going to move over into the plane sector. I think it's a great big jump, and I'm super interested to see how it even works. How are you going to have to book ahead of time? Is it going to be as cheap as Ubers and Lyfts are? This is the very, very, very beginning stages of it. The first prototype isn't even supposed to launch until 2020.
So with that being said, we know big name brands have more success at same things that have already occurred, right? Mm-hmm. So there are companies out there that do this already, but they do it based on people's private jets. They do it based on, rideshare when it comes to flying airlines.
All very expensive though, think.
Yep.
You know, your celebrities, your CEOs, your executives, Presidente. Those are the people who are able to afford these, private jets, ride sharing, things like that. But this is going to be for the common Joe Schmo. If regular everyday consumers who might not be able to afford that, or businesses, small to medium-sized businesses who might not be able to afford, that type of privacy when flying, this is definitely for them.
No, I agree, and I think Uber's the brand to do it, if at that. I really think the beginning months of it is going to see if it really takes off or not. But if it doesn't, they took the risk. But I'm sure somebody else will learn from it and will swoop in and take that. Okay, enough with the airplane puns, the sky puns. Let's go on to our third topic. Google Assistant can now call and make schedules for you.
I'm sorry, BJ, can you say that one more time?
Google Assistant can make a call on your behalf and schedule something for you.
Hey millennials, Google Assistants are gonna call our doctors for us. Now I feel like I don't fit into that category because I love calling my doctors, but I know this is gonna be very, very big to the millennial generation because that's the running joke, is that they don't feel comfortable calling for like their hair appointments or doctors. I think this is great lengths, and I think it's definitely gonna be used.
Definitely, it's very exciting. Google unveiled it at their Google I/O event. Basically what happens is the Google Assistant, which is already in Google Home, on Google-based phones, Pixel, stuff like that, is going to call and schedule things for you. So if you say, hey Google, make me a hair appointment Wednesday at 2:30, it'll call, negotiate, find out if that time slot's available. If it's not, it'll turn around and try to book one at an earlier time or later time around the time you asked for. And then it comes back to you and says this is scheduled. It really takes out, kind of the, I don't want to say human interaction, but it takes out the need
That
for
common middleman.
Yes. So you basically are going to have this stuff done on your behalf while you can remain productive. So this is great for the person on the move, but kind of what Rachel said, it's for the millennials, I feel like we're going to abuse it. Gen Z, I'm sorry, I don't know what else to say. But truthfully, this is paramount. I expect to see more of this from the major players. I assume that iPhone adapts it with Siri in some way, shape,
absolutely.
or form.
And I think just like we were talking about with Lyft and Uber, all of the other, artificial intelligence assistants, they're going to begin to do it. They're going to take that data and then it's just going to grow. I know a lot of the times we talk about artificial intelligence and how far we've come. It's only going to go up and it's only going to get more vast. So if you don't have an eye on artificial intelligence, if you feel like you're behind the times, I would definitely recommend reading up. This is the future of technology.
Guys, with that being said, machines are rising. I'm BJ Berge.
I'm Rachel.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you, Rachel and BJ. Some great stories this week on the Digital Buzz. So, Sarah and I are back to round out this week's episode where we were talking about SSL, or Secure Sockets Layer. And the reason why we really wanted to talk about SSL and getting your website secure at this kind of point, at this juncture, is because that Google is actually making a lot of changes in the upcoming months, specifically looking at the month of July, where they're really cracking down on the Chrome browser and letting users know which websites are secure and not secure. So right now, they do a pretty good job with, if you go to a website that's not secure, for example, and there's a contact form, and you fill it out, Google's going to say, up top by the URL right there, not secure. And what they're looking to do in July is make it a lot more obvious for users that are browsing websites that aren't secure, because at the end of the day, unfortunately, you can have your information stolen, your potential to a hacker, whatever it might be, if you are filling out some of that personal information on a website that might not have that extra layer of security. So that's one of the major reasons why we really wanted to bring it up at this point, is so that people have time to kind of prepare and get ready for the switch in July.
Yeah, because it is sort of a process. You can't just go in and change your website to
Right.
HTTPS. You have to go through the process. You have to get the certification. You have to get the redirects put in, because it is changing your URL. So you have to make sure that you're getting all these things done in time for this change, so that you and your users are all protected.
Yeah, no, great point. It's not something where, like Sarah mentioned, you can just add an S onto your URL and you're all straight. You actually have to buy that. You have to have a certificate. That extra layer of security saying that you have that extra layer. You then have to get it, authenticated and certified. And then, like Sarah mentioned, you have to make a couple of changes on the back end of the website, whether that's pointing the old unsecured version of your website to the new secured version with all of those redirects. And then there's little things like even in Search Console, you'd have to update the property in there to be tracking the new HTTPS and not be looking at the HTTP any longer. So there are definitely crucial steps that you need to take to get secure, but it's certainly something that's recommended as you move forward.
Yeah, it's only going to benefit you and your users, because you're going to look more credible as having a secure website. You're going to perform better because people are going to trust your website and
Right.
they're going to trust that they're being taken care of and that their information is not going to be compromised. I'm not going to go shopping on a website
Right.
if it doesn't have HTTPS because I don't want my stuff stolen.
Yeah, and I mean, you'll often see, it's associated that little green padlock that's up there on Chrome when you look at a URL. That's another reason or another way to associate that a site has the SSL in place. But yeah, Sarah's right. It's great for that user experience. We talk about trust factors all the time, and whether that's putting testimonials on your website or videos, that's just another trust factor showing your users that you're taking their data and their information seriously and that you're willing to protect it. But it's certainly evolved over time as well. Google in the past really wanted websites that took payment information to have HTTPS. And then they said, okay, if you have any type of a form, you should really have it. And now they're basically saying we would like all websites to have HTTPS. And there's certainly a shift. Most websites are already moving to that. As far as the boost in rankings, we get that question a lot. Does Google favor sites that are HTTPS over sites that are not? And the answer, in short, is slightly. So if all things are equal and there's two sites, one's HTTP and one's got the extra layer of security and they're HTTPS, Google will favor the HTTPS version of the site over the HTTP. So it's not a major ranking boost, but Google certainly favors websites that have that extra layer of security. So definitely something that we wanted to bring up during this week's episode. We thought it was a great idea, especially with some of the big changes coming up in July. So take a look at your website. If you don't see HTTPS in front of your URL, that means that you're not necessarily secure moving forward. So something you would want to consider is getting that extra layer of SSL. So
Yeah, and if you're one of our clients and you haven't been talked to about getting these changes into process, make sure you reach out to your CRMs and make sure you reach out to our office to, let us know so we can get the ball rolling for you, because we will do everything we can to help make sure that process is smooth and seamless.
Certainly, yes. We want to make sure that everybody is moving over to the HTTPS version of their website in the upcoming months. So very important stuff, although it might seem a little mundane and boring. It actually is really important as the world of internet goes. But that is SSL. So episode 47 is pretty much a wrap. Sarah, thank you very much for coming on this week.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure, and we will see you guys all next Thursday for episode 48. Have a great weekend.